Hello, uh, welcome in today's session. Sorry for the delay. As the preparation was going on, I entered some that thumbnail and etc. Today we are going to talk about some important part of function, like scope mostly we say. Let's see what is that, and we'll see with a little example. It is called scope of the variable. So what is the scope? Scope is that region of our program where the variable is visible, and outside that variable is not visible, so that bounded area it's called scope. uh, and that we can define using some variables where to access and where not to access that. The scope of variable refers to the person, the reason where the variable is visible and can be accessed. So it determines the lifetime and accessibility of variables within the program. Mostly when you talk about the scope of the variable where it can be accessed, there are of four types. First we say local variable, then we say global variable, then we say static variable, and next is the register variable. First let's see what is this local variable. When we talk about the local variable simply say that all the variables which are declared inside the block of the function and they have limited scope and the lifetime. So that is called local variable. Local variables are visible and accessible only inside the block or the function in which we have used. We cannot use them from the outside of the block or the function, and for this local variable we may use the keyword auto. Uh, let's see an example of this one, and the same name as the variable of the block or the function without causing conflict. So what is the lifetime of that one? Local variables have the lifetime that starts when the block of function is entered and ends when the function is exited. Means it comes in use when we are uh, using the function, and if the function stops calling or the exits, then the variables they also uh, exit. We can say when the block is entered, memory is allocated for the local variables, and when the block is exited, the memory is released. Means they leave the memory. Local variables are not automatically initialized with the default value. We must explicitly initialize the local variables before using them to avoid potential issues. To answer all these all, let's see an example. Let's see an example. Uh, so here is local variable. Let's save it. Here we can say we have declared one variable that is a equals to 30, and this variable we can only access or to use it inside the main function. Means from outside we cannot use this one. So this type of variable it is called local variable. Let's run it. So here is the output for the local variable. Now suppose we have a function. So I just said that we can also use the letter auto. For this, auto is also used. Uh, uh, and it's we can use auto keyword. So how to use that? Let's see. So simply we put here auto int. Let's run it. So here is the output with auto. So putting auto makes the automatic, that is local variable. If we don't put, then default actually it is an automatic or the local variable. Now suppose if we want to use this a from the outside, what would happen? Let's use a function void demo. So that is the name of function, i.e. declaration we can say. Now void demo. Let's try to use this a variable from here. Let's save it. Now since inside this function demo there is no a variable, what we are trying? We are trying to access this variable a from this demo function. Let's see by running it works or not. You can see here a is not accessible from outside, so a is local to main function. Similarly, if we declare a variable here as equals to 50, this s is local variable. S is local variable for this demo, and this s variable we cannot access from the main. And this is called scope. Scope means where you can use, and it is accessible, and that reason where it is accessible. So this s, it is accessible only inside the demo, and this a, it is only accessible inside the main function. For the main function, this is local variable. For this demo, it is a local variable. So very simple to understand. I hope you also know the local variable. Now next is there. If you have question, then you can put the question in the comment box. So, yes, Neeraj, you can tell me. Put your comment in the comment box. Manuskar. Raz, Raz, Raz or Neeraj, want to say anything? Uh, slowly म त्यो पनि सुरु गर्छु. I'll start with Python or maybe the Java. Neeraj. J2 management or I'll be starting soon some other classes, maybe the Java or maybe the Python. I'll wait for that. It takes time. for the Java and Python. So this is about the local variable. Now let's say uh, next, and that is uh, global variable. So what is global variable? Global variable, the name says, global variable is that variable. Global variable is that variable which is accessible or we can access from anywhere. So that is called global variable. Means uh, if we declare a variable outside the function, then that becomes global. Mostly we don't put that variable inside the function or the block. We put outside, and that is accessible from anywhere. So that is called global variable. Global variable, they have lifetime throughout the entire execution program, and for that we may use external keyword. External stands for external, means it is outside the function. So look here, one example is written here, int glob var equals to 10. So when we write 10, then it becomes global variable. This is outside the function, not inside the function. Let's see with the help of example to be more clear. I'm going to save same file here. Uh, so global variable. So this is the name of function. Now let's declare a variable here. Int. So a equals to 50. So it is been now global. So this is a global variable. I'm just removing this part from here. Similarly, I'm also removing this part from here. Now we can see here. So this main function, it is accessing this part. Similarly, this demo, it is also accessing this part. Now let's call the function here. Uh, Now let's see the output. What will be the output here? We can see two times we are getting a equals to 50, a equals to 50. So what it means? It means uh, that this main function, it means uh, this printf a, it is accessing this value, and equally this is also accessing same value. So this is called global variable. So it's very simple to understand that global variable mostly we declare outside. Maybe from here, or we can also put here. So anywhere we can put, but it should not be inside the function. Maybe the main or any other function. Now in this global variable, we can also use the extern. Let's say here is the extern. Let's save it. So look here. Here is the output, a equals to 50 and a equals to 50. So it's very simple to understand. Now you may have one question there. What happens if we use extern int in this way? let's run. So it is giving us output. So there is a warning as initialized and declared extern there. Extern simply says that actually make the variable global, and in another sense we can also understand that global variable simply says the look the value of a in some other files. For that also we can use extern. It simply says that look the variable value in some other files, that is external. Right now we are using this a in same file, but sometimes what happens if we want to put this value in some other files and we want to our program to use that variable, then we can use external. It's very simple there. So put the external and give the that variable and use from some other, we can say that functions or the main functions or maybe any other functions. Next is here uh, it was about the global variable. So this is how we can use. It's very simple. And just previously we discussed about the uh, local variable. It's very simple. Now we are going to talk about mm, now we are going to talk about that register variable. So let's see, and the static variable. So what is meaning of static variable? Static variable is variable that returns its value between the function calls and has a scope limited to the block or function where it is defined. Means inside the function where only we can use there, it retains the value. So what is the meaning of retaining? Retaining simply says that uh, whenever you call the same value again and again by the function, then we have to preserve the value. Means we have to store that value in our memory if we want to use again and again. Then if we don't want, then we should not make that variable as static. If we want to make that static, if we want to use that value stored inside the memory next time and next time, and we have to use static. The value of static variable is initialized only once at the start of the program and is written until the program terminates. Means it will be inside the main memory until the program is terminated. Means function is terminated. Means between multiple calls we can use same value or the change value of the variable. For that we use static. Static variables have a scope limited to that block or function in which they are defined, and they cannot be used outside the block where they are declared. Lifetime throughout the entire execution of program means until the program is terminated, they can be stored inside the memory. They are allocated memory when the program starts and retain its memory until the program terminates, unlike the local variable. So how we write that? Let's take an example. Going to save same program here, save as static. So demo here. Going to remove this one. Demo. Now suppose here is variable s equals to 10. Now if we use demo two times, now what would happen there? And suppose we are changing the value of s, we are going to change the value of s by 5. Let's save it. Let's run the program. So we are getting a equals to 50, a equals to 50. We can say here there is no change in value, whereas uh, we can see a equals to 50 and 50. Now we have changed the value by 5, but we are not getting the change value here in this output, and this is because when this function is called, after calling what happens, this change cannot be set because the value is destroyed from the main memory. In next call what happens, same value will get here, it is called, and we'll get 50 there. After that the value is increased, but that cannot be seen because that is destroyed. For this what we need there, we have to put the static in there. Let's save it now, let's run it now. So look here, first we are getting 50 and next time we are getting 55, means in first call we got the 50 and after that it was stored in that main memory, so the value was changed by 5 and we got the 55. This is how static works. So this shows about the static, means preserving the value between the calls. So this shows about this. Now next scope is the register. Register keyword is used to declare a register variable, means it's a hint to the compiler that storing the variable in a CPU register or inside the CPU register for the faster access. Whenever we declare a variable inside the function, that is stored inside the main memory, but and that is slow. If we want faster access, then we have to store same variable in the register. And if we want that, then we have to use this keyword register. It's important to note that register keyword is just a hint, and the compiler may or may not choose to store the variable in register. So how we go for that? Let's see. Frequently access variable that require fast access such as loop counters, etc. And the register is ultimately made by the compiler based on the factors like available registers and the optimization strategies. Uh, we can use this with this address operator, may not have a memory address. So it has many limitations that register. The number of register variables that can be declared is limited because of limited capacity is finite. Register cannot have their address taken, meaning they cannot be used with pointers or the operator. The register keyword is optional, and the compiler may ignore if it determines that storing the variable register does not provide any performance benefit. Let's go for it. Let's see, same program. So going to save it again. You can save with me register. Now let's remove it from here. Instead of making a static and register, we can use both at same time. Register here. Now this variable as it is stored inside the register. Let's save it. Let's run it. So this is the name of function. This is the calling. We know this. This is the definition part, and we are using this one local variable that is s equals to 50, and that is stored where in the register of the microprocessor. Let's put here s equals to. Let's run the program. Here is s equals to 20. So it's very simple to understand about the register variable. So we have altogether 4 scopes of the variable. It depends on us or the program we are going to write. Uh, Mostly we use the global and the local variables, and sometimes if needed we may use static in the list. I hope you understood about this one. If you have any questions, then you can ask me by putting your questions in the comment box. If you have any doubts or if you have any confusion, then fine. Just put in comment box or the particular language, or we can say that your confusions. I hope you like the video. Just uh, subscribe the channel. You can also share with your friends. Uh, Thank you for today. Tomorrow again, I'll be talking about recursive function used in C language. Gradually, we'll be moving forward with some other new topics. Thank you. Take care.